How are you going? In this video, we're going to do a micro adventure. I'm going to do a quick overnight camp. I'm going to do a cook up on a campfire, and I'm going to test out a new car camping setup. And that's what's ahead in this video. It is currently about 4:30 in the afternoon. I've just come to the Kings Plains National Park in the New England region of New South Wales. Now, I don't have a whole lot of time to have a longer adventure, but we're going to make the most of the little bit of time we have, and we're going to test out a new setup. I am in the Ironbark campground. We'll go over and get the fire going real soon, but first I just wanted to come down here and have a little look at the creek and just show you a little bit of what this country looks like. Now I've got to get going. We're running out of daylight fast, but I'll give you a quick look at this campground. This is the access road in, and then we've got a few good designated campsites up here. There's a small toilet building. It's actually brand new. I've camped here previously and there was no toilet before. There is a toilet now and a few signs in the area, which is all new. You've got this good road to drive in on. So this is one of the camps just here to the right. It has a fire and a table. The other camp down there, that's where I'm parked. It also has a fire and a table. That's where I'm going to spend tonight. Then there's a few other spaces where you could set your setup, but there is no facilities. This one down here is one of those sites. Now that sun is already going behind that hill. Now I've got to get cracking. I've got to get some hot coals going so that I can get my dinner cooking before it gets completely dark. National Parks and Wildlife Service have provided us with some wood. That's very helpful. I brought my own wood. Now I just want to get some little sticks sorted out. So my cooking implements tonight, I've got a cast iron skillet, I've got a small camp oven, and I've got a billy. And that's going to be everything I need to get my cooking done. The fire's on its way. The sun's pretty much gone down on that hill, but there is a good ridge there, so the actual sundown won't be for like another 15 or 20 minutes. I won't run out of light for a while. Haven't used this pan for a while, so it needs a bit of a clean up. I'll set it up there a bit. You can dry out a little bit. So I squeeze all the water out of that paper towel. That will soon dry out and burn up in the fire. Now because we've got this device here, I can actually get the camp oven heating up a little bit now while I get some stuff ready to put in it. Now a lot of people find it quite difficult or awkward to cook in the bush. It can be awkward, but here is the real secret. You want to prepare things ahead of time. If you can prepare things ahead of time, it's real easy, and then your job's done. So I've got some here for tonight and some for tomorrow. I prepped that up last night. It took me like 15 minutes while I was in the kitchen doing other things anyway. And now it means that tonight I'm good to go. I don't have to fiddle around with chopping things up, trying to weigh or measure or do anything like that. I've just got everything good and we're good to go. I like it. Doesn't mean it always turns out well. I still stuff things up, but it means that we're organised and it'll be as easy as possible. So tonight, what's going in the camp oven is a real simple damper. So I'm going to mix up my damper in the billy, then I'll give that a wash out so we can make a drink later. I've got some flour and some salt in this bag. Dip it in here. Self-raising flour. For this one, I've used 1.5 cups, which will be plenty because I'm here by myself. And I'm going to eat some of this damper tonight and some again in the morning. Okay, that's easy. Now I just need some water. How much water? Well, don't put too much water in. I start with a little bit of water and I'll just keep adding to it. Now you've got to choose which hand you're going to get dirty. On this occasion, I want to keep my right hand clean for other things, so I'm going to use my left hand. Use my left hand to do the mixing. Now, still quite dry, add a little bit more water. You can always add more water. I can't add any more flour. I've only got this much flour. So I have to be careful not to make it too wet. Still too dry. Now we're getting very close. I need just a tiny bit more water. Still a tiny bit more. Just one dry spot left now. Hope that's not too much. So, that's my damper. It's mixed up. I'll roll it into a ball in a moment. I just need to get Now I've got a piece of baking paper that I'm going to put in the bottom of the camp oven when that's hot. And then that will stop the damper from sticking to the bottom of the camp oven. Take this off for a minute. Get the paper in. Now the dough has ended up a tiny bit too wet. That last splash that I put in was a splash too big. I was worried about that. It'll be okay though. So you can see how badly it's sticking to me everywhere. I'm not really able to roll it up into a ball the way I want to, but that'll be okay. We'll get that in there. It'll actually flatten itself out a bit as it cooks. Righto, that's enough of that. There's a bit that can go in the fire. I'm going to wash my hands a bit. Now a real easy way to wash your hands is to get a bit of dirt. That acts as a beautiful abrasive. That'll clean that all up nicely. There we go. Righto, you want the lid? Now things are cooling down a bit, I'm going to put on a jumper. Now this is actually a new fleece I've just got. I'm going to give it a test out tonight. It's meant to be quite waterproof. We won't have any opportunity to test that now. There's absolutely no forecast of rain today. It's as clear as a bell. Good chance of a frost in the morning, although we're in a sheltered spot here in between the trees, so we probably won't get any frost, but maybe down there on the creek bank we might see a frost. We've got our fire. We started cooking our dinner, and once this dies down a little bit more, I'll be able to put the pan in the coals and I'll be able to cook the second part of the dinner. I'll show you that in a moment. Just listen to some of these beautiful bird sounds. So what's a micro adventure? Well, it's really just an opportunity to participate in something that you want to do when you don't have time for a big adventure. And that's what I'm doing tonight. If I didn't come camping tonight, I won't get another opportunity for probably another 3 weeks. Now I'd love to come and camp here for 3 days. I haven't got time for that. But I can sneak in one night and one morning. So I'm going to make the chance tonight. I'm going to come out with a real simple setup. I'm just going to do some quick and easy things. And I'm going to be able to enjoy being here in the bush, enjoying my fire, if I haven't smothered it, and then just carrying on with my regular life after that, but knowing that I've been able to make the time for the things that really matter to me. And that's a micro adventure. And it doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be complicated. It could even be taking some of your camping gear, setting it up in the backyard and sleeping the night in your own backyard. Why would you do that? Because it's a micro adventure. You get a chance to camp. You can stay outside and you can also test out your setup. What's not to like about that? I can tell you, we've got a problem, Houston. And tonight, I'm going to sleep in the car. Not because I have to. I have tents, I have different setups that I could use, but I just want to try this out. And I feel like it's going to be a real quick and easy way for me to manage, because I'm here by myself, and that's a great micro adventure for me. And it's also great to test this out, because if it works, I can do it again in the future. I can stop off somewhere, have a great night, get a good sleep, get up in the morning and go, and it could be a great new way for me to travel or to do things and to fit more of these trips into my regular life. Just like most of you, I've got a job I've got to get up and go to. I've got things I've got to do. I've got responsibilities and commitments. But it doesn't mean I can't fit this time in to do these little adventures. And that's really important to me, and it makes the rest of my life make more sense when I have time to do this. So that's a micro adventure. So tell me in the comments below, have you been on a micro adventure lately? If so, tell us what it's all about. If you haven't been out, maybe you can think of a few ideas for micro adventures you can go on, and you could tell me which ones you're planning. As maybe I'll get an idea from you and I can go and do it too. Now, while I can still see what I'm doing, I'm going to try and get the car set up so it's ready for sleep later when I want to go to bed. I got a big jacket in case I need it. I got some gloves in case I need them, and an extra pair of socks in case I need that. Now that's as far as that lays down, and it's pretty uphill. So my head's going to go up there. So my sleeping kit is a sleeping mat. I've got a sleeping bag liner, and I've got my 0 degree sleeping bag. Should be warm and cozy. The temperature should get down to about 0 or maybe a little bit under, but I should be fine inside the car. Plenty of warmth there. Now, I'm not doing CPR, I'm just inflating my bed. Sleeping bag liner keeps the sleeping bag clean, and it adds a couple of degrees, and I find this more comfortable to sleep in than just a straight sleeping bag. So I like those. Now this sleeping bag doesn't actually fit inside this bag. It's just the one I use when I go backpacking, because it compresses it down really small. But in the long run, I will buy a better sleeping bag for backpacking. So that is the bed. How do you think we're going to go? Now I do apologise, it's getting really dark really fast. I don't have any fancy lights, so it's going to be just me, you and this headlight. We'll see how we go. Oh, that's done. That is done. There we go. Now these fire rings are a real good idea in a campsite, but when you want to cook in them, they can make things a little bit more complicated. Now, it does come with a big barbecue plate here, but my experience of those is that it takes them forever to get hot, and they're not real good for cooking on. I want to use my little pan, and so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to clear a space here at the front of this, get some hot coals out, like this. Careful not to spread the fire everywhere so we don't start a bushfire. And I'm going to get that on and start getting hot. I know, we'll put a bit of oil in the pan. So that's how our damper turned out. Looks pretty good, smells pretty good. Yep, it's all well cooked through the middle. Very nice. Hey there, fella. Woe back. This is my dinner. You can't have it. Hey, hey! So what's for tea tonight? I've got 3 pork sausages, some tomato and onion, and I've got some sweet potato and white potato that I actually forgot about them. They should have gone on first. They went on last. They're not going to be cooked for a long time yet, but I'll eat the rest of it. So I've got this food. The sausages are just about ready to go, and the onion and tomatoes ready to go, and my damper's ready to go. So I'm going to eat them first, and then we'll come back for the potatoes later. Sausages should be definitely cooked now. So, there's my dinner for tonight. I'm looking forward to that. Very nice. This damper's quite good as well. So what do you think? Have I done okay? You might not pay for this in a restaurant, but I tell you what, I'm pretty happy with it out here. If I'm not looking at the camera, I'm sorry. The only thing I can see is my headlights shining in my face. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy this meal. Not sure whether you can see it or not, but I'm certainly going to enjoy it. Now, if you haven't cooked potatoes this way before, you might be wondering, what am I going to do with that? Well, for starters, it's quite hot. Well, here's what you do with that. We just got to get into it. You can see that the inside is both very hot and delicious. So what we do with that is we can just eat the inside out and leave the burnt bit on the outside. And that is how you cook a potato. Very, very happy with that. Not sure how anyone else does it. I'm sure there's a knack to getting into the car in a way that doesn't look as awkward as this. I think that'll be all right. I guess the main thing to think about is, will I be sleeping on my side tonight or on my back? Because I'm fairly uphill and I can go up a bit more. Once I shut the door, I'm not going to be able to straighten my legs out fully. So that might be a bit of a pain through the night. I can creep up a bit more, but I also know that I'm gonna keep sliding downhill a bit. And I guess that's why a lot of people who build these setups build a platform in the back of their car so that they can be level through the night. But anyway, so far so good. I'm in and I'm comfortable. And now we're just got to get the door shut and see if we can actually get into bed itself. Now you might be wondering, what have I got in this little bag of goodies? Well, I'll do my best to show you. Some earplugs, a couple of different kinds, for whatever's most comfortable. Probably these ones, the soft foam ones. Sometimes when you're out camping, there's noises at night, and they're noises that are different to the noises you normally hear, and so as a result, you wake up. You notice them a lot more than the noises that you hear in your own home or around where you normally live, and it can be one of the reasons why you get disturbed sleep. So if I find myself waking up in the night, I can put earplugs in, and that helps me get a good night's sleep. It just depends. Tonight there's almost no wind, and there's really no animals around, so I'm not expecting any issues. This is a sleep mask. just like that. I put that on my eyes and it blocks out most of the light. So why do I want that? Sometimes the moon will bother me, so I find that when I'm in my tent, it's dark enough because while it's not a blackout tent, it's still a dark enough tent that it shuts out most of the moonlight. So on anything less than a really full or nearly full moon, I'll be okay. But if there's, like tonight, I've got the car windows, there's probably half a moon in the sky, and that'll be enough to bother me. So I'll put this on and I'll be able to sleep through anything. Earplugs, sleep mask, done. This was a game changer for me. It really helped me to be able to get good sleep when I'm out in the bush. What else do I need? Comfortable bed. So using some of these blow up air pads really makes a big difference. When I was younger, I actually used to be able to sleep on a very thin foam pad and I could sleep, but now I can't, no chance. Even a hard pad, I can't sleep. I need it to be soft enough, and otherwise my hips and my knees just ache all night. So having a decent pad under me for the night, that really makes a difference. The other thing I need is to be the right temperature. Why do I go camping in winter? Well, because it's cool. It's not hot. And I can always warm up, but I can never cool down. I can always put on some more clothes. I can always get another blanket or whatever. But it just makes it so much easier for me. If I came here in summer, and even though around the New England the temperatures are not super high compared to other places, it will still get up to 30 degrees sometimes. Let's say it's 30 degrees through the day, it might be like 14 or 15 through the night. For some of you out there, you'll be thinking you're insane. That's just a nice temperature. But for me, it's not. For me, that is critically hot, and there's no chance I'm sleeping in that temperature. But here, it's going to get down to like 0, -1, -2, something like that in the morning. That's just right for me. I'm very happy with that. Okay, so we're in bed. I'm comfortable. I can stretch out. I think I'm going to have a good night. So it's about 8:30. I got here about 4:30 this afternoon. So in 4 hours, I had a little walk. I saw the creek. I had a friendly wallaby come and visit. We made a fire. We cooked a damper. We cooked sausages. We cooked some potatoes. I had a really good meal. Then later I had a hot chocolate. And I've just been enjoying the fire. I've been enjoying watching the stars and just enjoying listening to the insects and the frogs and all the things that are around in the bush. And that was a great micro adventure. And, you know, even if I didn't spend the night, even if I just got in the car and went home after all of that, it still rejuvenates me and it still makes me feel really happy. So there's one example of something that you could do. Anyway, I'm going to test out my sleep setup here and I'm going to see how I go. So I'll give you an update on that in the morning and then we'll wrap up the video there. So night. So good morning. It's just after 4:30 in the AM. I've just woken up, had to get up and have a wee, but I don't want to get up yet because it's 4:30 and winter, so it's going to stay dark for a few hours yet. It's not going to start getting light until after 6. Sun won't come up till around 7. Going to see if I can get a little bit more sleep, but I just wanted to give you a quick update. How did I go in the night? Sleeping in the car. I mean, as you can hear, there's a little bit of noise going on. Probably the biggest concern I had through the night was simply the amount of downhill slope that I have with this car set up, and I did find myself sliding down a bit, and a couple of times I woke up with a weird pain in my knee just from the odd position that I was in. But apart from that, we went pretty well, and I had quite a bit of sleep. Now, apart from that, nothing really disturbed me. I had my sleep mask on, quite happy with that. Gives me a good night's sleep without having to worry about anything else. The light doesn't disturb me, particularly the moonlight filtering down through trees, making different patterns and movements. One of the things that bothers me. So that sleep mask sorts me completely out, no worry. What are the pros and cons of sleeping in the car versus sleeping in a tent now that I've done it? Well, basically, sleeping in the car means I don't have to get the tent out. I don't have to set it up. I don't have to get in and out on the ground. Getting in and out of this car wasn't as bad as I feared it might be. If you had poor mobility, probably be a struggle. But it was all right. It was no harder for me to get in and out of bed through the car door than it was to get in and out through a small tent door.
So that worked pretty well. But the main benefit is it's quite dewy outside, and I know that's only going to get worse as the morning goes on. And if I had my tent, then the tent would be damp. Even if it wasn't damp on top, it's going to be damp underneath from moisture coming up out of the ground. And a damp tent means I've got to stuff around in the morning, either here trying to dry it out, or when I get home I've got to unpack it and dry it out before I can pack it away again. I won't have to do that this trip, and I'm pretty happy about that. There won't be much else for me to worry about. Everything else is the same stuff I would take otherwise on a solo trip. So that's the only area where it's going to be any easier. But I was completely warm in bed last night, quite comfortable enough once I figured out the slope and I worked out how to lay and where to put my legs and all that sort of stuff, and I was able to sleep quite well. So all in all, I'm going to call this final part a success. Very happy with that. So my micro adventure isn't quite over yet. I've got a little bit of time this morning once the daylight comes back to us. In the next video, we're going to do an American style breakfast cook-up, and I'm going to do a little bit of a test of some new trail running shoes that I've got, and I'm going to show you a little bit of the bush around here, and we'll see what we can actually find. So that's something to look out for in the next video, but that's it for this one. So thanks very much for your time, and as always, if you've enjoyed the video, please give us a like, and don't be afraid to drop a comment and let me know. How do you go with this type of camping, or what would be interesting from your point of view to see me do in these camping trips? And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.